Live now to Tony Sheldon, the National Secretary of the Transport Work, responding to the Qantas job cuts announced yesterday.
Really levelled at the feet of the executive, Alan Joyce, and the way they're running this company. We, during last year, leading up to arbitration of the industrial matters that were in dispute last year and still are, Alan Joyce took 1 million hours worth of industrial action by locking out hard-working Australians. In comparison, over 7 months of frustrating negotiations with the company about fair job security arrangements, workers that are members of the Transport Workers Union took as little as 8,000 hours of industrial action. So let's put this in perspective. 8,000 hours of industrial action over 7 months and 1 million hours of industrial action by the Qantas board. This is a company who has ruthlessly and ideologically decided that the kangaroo has to be slaughtered in this country, or we're not going to let that happen. Also in the announcement yesterday, the company clearly breached its requirements under the Fair Work Act, and we're calling on the Fair Work Ombudsman to prosecute Qantas with all the strengths of the law. They have an obligation to consult, negotiate and have proper conversations and engagement with their workforce when restructuring occurs. The restructuring they've announced is that jobs are being outsourced, and yesterday they denied it. 4 weeks ago, Qantas were outed as trying to outsource work in the catering industry, and Alan Joyce went on the record saying we were liars. Well, Alan Joyce, it's clear the Australian people has got one foul liar running a company that's turned around and destroying this company. Qantas, the Jetstar Group, need to take responsibility. I'll say this to everybody who's the travelling public. It's become clearer and clearer from both statements within Qantas management privately, our politicians in Canberra, on both sides of the House, that Qantas intends to strip the flying kangaroo and outsource Jetstar in an operation to maximise profits for the executives and to see some of the offensive amounts of money that were paid during the APA bid paid to both board members and executive members. I'm ready for questions.
So what's the union going to do about it?
Well, the union is making it very clear to Alan Joyce. We're going to fight for the heart and soul of Qantas, and that is decent Australian jobs, a profitable company, and one that just isn't recklessly flown into the ground. What we've seen is an Industrial Relations Commission hearing for arbitration in a matter of weeks, and we'll be arguing for Australian jobs to be maintained at decent rates of pay and not outsourced at hundreds of dollars a week less, which is what Alan Joyce effectively announced yesterday when he ambushed his Australian workforce.
How many jobs do you think are at risk?
We're going to leave Tony Sheldon from the TWU there. If you'd like to continue watching that news conference, you can do so. Just press red and watch it on Multiview. It's on our Sky News Business channel as well. We are also going to return to Julia Gillard a little later when she holds a news conference there at that St Mary MacKillop School in Canberra. Julia Gillard previewing today the Gonski funding review, which is going to be handed down on Monday. So plenty of live events coming up today. Just sticking, though, with the aviation industry. Today we've seen the budget airline Air Australia. It's been placed into voluntary administration. It's left thousands of travellers stranded and 300 people out of work from Thailand to Hawaii. All Air Australia flights have now been grounded. Mark